Well, it's a new day, and let's go ahead and check and see what exactly is going on here in Southeast Asia in the news bag. This is from the Expats in Asia News and Chat Facebook page that I created a couple years ago. I think we're up to about 900 and some members now. A lot of people have joined here in the last couple days since the previous video. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description and also in the top comment. That way you can, kind of comment on the different articles we'll cover here. Some of them are articles, some of them are video, but let's go ahead and see what's going on this week. What we got here, our first one, the biggest travel risk in Thailand is renting a scooter with no experience. If you can't ride at home, don't rent one here. Geez, there's so much I could say on this, but I'll try to keep it brief. Now myself, when I first moved to the Philippines in 2012, by 2013, I was living on Bohol, and I had never in my life ridden a motorbike. And so I learned here in the Philippines. Now, the way I learned is I was living way out in the province, so very low traffic, almost zero traffic out there. And then once I felt kind of comfortable with it, kind of sorta, after a few days, I would go into town after like 9 p.m. And Bohol, anyways, there's very little traffic. Even nowadays, very little traffic on Bohol after 9 p.m. And I would then go out and practice, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Very little traffic. I'd be out learning how to just brake and accelerate and turn and look out for gravel on the, the turns and all that kind of stuff, all the basics. After about, I would say 6 months, I felt comfortable with how to handle the bike and deal with emergencies. Now, the big problem is guys like myself who had no previous experience. They get to anywhere in Southeast Asia, whether it's Vietnam, wherever, they rent a scooter, and they're told basically, well, it's a twist and go, just accelerate and brake. That's all you got to worry about. Seems easy enough. This is not the place to learn in heavy traffic. Any of these, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, I got to really discourage you from doing that. If you really want to ride a motorbike in a foreign land, learn how to ride it under controlled circumstances in your own home country. Really, your life can depend on it. The unexpected stuff that can happen is high. People come out into the road, people brake suddenly, people will change lanes and they don't see you there. You're at a higher risk. It should go without saying, riding a motorbike, period, anywhere. Now myself, I have a pretty hard and fast rule. I don't drive over 35 miles an hour. Now, you can still get killed going 35 miles an hour, but I just try to hedge my bets. I'm not in any huge hurry. If I'm getting ready to merge onto a main road, I let all the major traffic, because traffic happens in clusters. You got one slow person up front and then everybody piled behind them trying to pass. So I'll let that cluster of traffic go by and I come in behind them. Because if I do have to lay my bike down, I slip on some gravel or hit a dog or whatever, I don't want 10 cars behind me that hopefully will see me in time. No, I want to be in the back. And, I got all day to get where I'm going. And I usually go 20, 25 miles an hour. I go 35 if I'm passing, especially slow tricycles. But really, I can't emphasize this enough. I just lost a close friend of mine not even 3 weeks ago. He was riding around his motorbike, out on Pang Lao, right here by Bohol, and hit a dog. Unfortunately, broke his neck on impact, went into a coma right away, and he was gone within 13 hours. So again, a foreign land is not the place to really try and learn for the first time to ride a motorbike. If you can find a place like I did, out in the boonies, away from any traffic, and you take your time, get your skills up, maybe. But if you plan on riding a motorbike in another country, please just learn how to ride it before you get here. Now, as you can see here in this article, it's mostly in, I believe, Tagalog. They've got a bit more here. You can kind of read that while I'm talking. I live on Bohol, so I saw this, coming. Bohol has taken a very serious stance on law enforcement. Their two emphasis seem to be more checkpoints to enforce helmets, wearing shoes, and then, of course, registration, license. But really, the helmets and shoes, they're trying to prevent, more injury than is necessary when somebody actually does lay down their bike. But the other emphasis has been on shutting down as much as possible the drug trade. And it's, it happens in every island, just like it happens in every city in any country, pretty much. What I've noticed is more and more articles just in the last 6 weeks of different buy busts, which were the result of, like observation and surveillance, and then it led to the arrest, or undercover agents that were buying it from, like, one bust. It was a woman selling religious candles in front of a church, and she was, passing small time, drug deals. They're enforcing the curfew on minors, anyone under 18 that's not supposed to be out there after, like, I believe it's 10 o'clock at night. They're giving them warnings. They see a cluster of kids out there and they tell them, hey, you're out after curfew, go home. And if you don't, we can make an issue out of it. But this is where a lot of this activity happens with the drug deals and whatever. Even the delivery guys, some of the delivery guys have been arrested for this kind of thing. They're not playing around. I've noticed new police cars. I saw one or two police motorbikes, which normally they're just driving their own motorbike, but now they're actually providing them with equipment. I actually saw coming outside of the mall, they had a checkpoint and they were handing out tickets, and they had not only the PNP, which is the Philippines National Police, they also had a SWAT team there. Not that they needed a SWAT team, but they wanted to make the point that, they're cracking down. All the loosey-goosey, willy-nilly kind of approach to traffic and whatnot. They're trying to kind of like, firm things up. And I, for one, I'm glad to see it, because everybody knows where you've got drug activity, you've got drug addicts. And drug addicts are really not known for being good employees. So when they need money to buy what they need, they steal somebody else's stuff. That's how they provide for their habit. So it ends up affecting the rest of us. The more addicts you have in an area, the higher the rate goes up for theft, whether it be snatch and grab or breaking into a house or whatever. I'm glad to see this being dealt with. Again, you can check out the article, the full article, at the Expats in Asia news and chat page. As the Philippines is struggling to kind of recoup a lost 28%, some say higher, but I do know it's 28% over the last 5 years. Philippines has lost in tourism numbers, foreign nationals coming to visit. As the Philippines is struggling to deal with that, Japan, on the other hand, has the opposite problem. They are trying to control and restrict the number of tourists that want to come to Japan. Because there's been, as I mentioned in the previous episode here, there are just people behaving badly. Let's just put it that way, who are not welcome in Japan. And they would rather try and keep them from getting in rather than have to deal with them once they're there. And I'm not talking about long-term immigrants. I'm talking about tourists that just simply behave badly. So there's an article here going into the details on this. A Japanese government advisory panel has proposed expanding countermeasures against over-tourism as the number of foreign visitors keeps climbing. The recommendation is part of a planned revision to the Tourism Nation Promotion Basic Plan, which was discussed at a panel last Friday. According to the draft revision, one of Japan's biggest challenges is finding the right balance between attracting international tourists and protecting the daily lives of local residents. Despite concerns about congestion, Japan will keep its ambitious tourism goals for 2030, targeting 60 million foreign visitors. I believe the Philippines, now their latest number is 5 million. And so big difference. Up from 42 million last year and a total visitor spending of 15 trillion yen, roughly $97 billion. So despite the money being involved here with incoming tourism money spent, Japan is kind of putting the brakes on this and trying to control, who comes in and how they're going to behave once they get there. So if you have a trip planned to Japan, be sure to know the visa requirements. Try to watch some videos on the social etiquette, which is very important in Japan. It's important in any country, but especially in Japan, you're going to look like a real hillbilly if you don't do your homework first. So watch the videos of vloggers that are in Japan who explain a lot of the cultural differences. Okay, now this one, this one is actually like the second article I've seen on this topic. Chonburi Monastic Center raid reveals drug use and explicit content. This one, I don't even think I could show this on Facebook, even though it is publicly on the internet. It's kind of one of those not safe for work kind of videos. But the police, of all people, have busted these monks. This is the second time. In the first video, which has video, it's here in the group if you want to come to the group and see the video. It's kind of hilarious. It's these officers arresting they've come into a hotel room with like 2 or 3 monks. There was, let's just say, erotic paraphernalia like all over the place. These guys, and there were drugs involved. These guys were out to party. They might cover some of that here. Chonburi officials raided now I know I'm going to screw this up, From Sunthorn Monastic Center in Angsila, uncovering drug use and pornography. 4 monks tested positive for narcotics and were immediately defrocked by authorities. Investigators found cash and illicit items in the quarter of one monk who lacked Thai citizenship. Another admitted, and by the way, this is in Thailand, another admitted to using methamphetamine for years, claiming it helped alleviate his chronic health conditions. The group faces rehabilitation and legal action with the foreign national referred to immigration, so he's probably going to get thrown out. Officials stated his conduct violates monastic discipline and impacts the community's reputation. No duh. Just kind of a side note. Obviously, this would be improper behavior, whether it was a Catholic priest or a Buddhist monk or, an Amish guy, whatever. But most specifically, what sticks out to me on this, because I love reading and understanding the Taoist approach. And one of the tenets about Taoism is having a detachment to where the things of this world do not affect you. There's a principle of essentially moving through life without having to force something, which is the opposite of our American outlook. Our American outlook is, like smashing the square peg into the round hole. It's like, if it doesn't work the first time, just persevere and keep hammering at it and make it happen. And there's a lot to be said for that. A lot of inventions have come about this way. However, the Taoist approach is, you've probably heard like Bruce Lee say it very succinctly, be like water. Be forceful when you need to be forceful, but be willing to be flexible when it's, productive. So the whole idea of being locked up in a desire like these guys with the whole drugs and, whatever they got going on here, it's the very opposite of Taoism. These guys are not monks. They should all be defrocked. I mean, because they're not really pursuing in daily life the very philosophy that they believe in. To give you an example, it's not, for instance, there's nothing wrong with having an attraction for a woman and wanting a wife. That's a perfect perfectly normal thing. And so you approach her, you talk to her, and if it all comes together organically, you progress in the relationship and you get married and you move forward from there. That's all copacetic and nice. But Taoism would say if you approach this woman and she's just not interested, let it go. Move on. That's the productive way to handle things. It's the Tao, it's the way. Is you don't need to force it. Don't try to make something happen that is not naturally willing to happen. Because, as we all probably know, when you force a relationship and they really don't want to be there, well, now it's a matter of forcing them to stay there, and then that brings in control and manipulation and resentment until it gets to a point where either they're living under the same roof and they hate each other, or that other person finally says, you know what? I'd rather be somewhere else. Don't love you, never did love you. Somehow you manipulated me into this relationship. You know what? I've had it. And they reach their limit and off they go. So anyways, that was the thing that stuck out to me with this. Again, in Thailand, more cracking down related here. Thailand is shutting down more than 7,000 cannabis shops as it tightens regulations. We'll take a look here really quick. Thailand is undergoing a massive restructuring of its cannabis market, moving away from the Wild West era of decriminalization. Over 7,000 cannabis shops closed their doors by early 2026 after failing to meet new stringent licensing requirements. The government is shifting the industry toward a strictly medical framework, intentionally reducing the number of retailers to ensure tighter oversight and consumer safety. So basically, they're cracking down. They don't want this, willy-nilly ganja use as it has been in the past. Under the new ministerial regulations, cannabis can now only be sold through 4 types of authorized facilities. Goes down here further. The crackdown follows a significant domestic backlash over unregulated. While thousands of businesses are exiting the market due to the high cost of a compliance, the Thai government insists that patients with legitimate medical needs will still have ample access through the national healthcare system. So if one of your reasons for going to Thailand was to smoke weed, well, that's not going to be as easy as it was in the past. So whatever stories or anecdotes you heard in the past, it is getting more strict now in 2026. Now, this little video, it's just a short, but I went ahead and posted it in the group. The guy is basically, and you can see here through the captions, closed captions, the main gist of what he's saying is that what happens in Thailand also happens in Philippines. And I've seen it for years. And guys show up and they're just taken off guard by how relaxing things can be, how easy it is to date women. You're having a great time. Everything is like the rose-colored glasses honeymoon phase. And a lot of guys just kind of like get lost in that. And they think it's always going to be like that. Now, nothing changes as far as the dating or anything, but the smart thing to do is to, at some point, pull back a little bit and go, wait a minute. How can I be more productive with, say, less effort, less resources? Because unless a guy does that, what ends up happening is it just snowballs. He goes from dating one woman a week, maybe even one woman a month, to 2 a week, and then 3. And then pretty soon he's got a rotation of like 6 different women. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. Anybody who's lived in the Philippines knows it's very easy to do this, but it's not a smart idea. And the initial honeymoon phase, if dating one Filipina is fun, dating 6 of them in a month at the same time should be 6 times better. No, it starts introducing, aside from more cost to date and all this stuff and all of the money requests that are going to come along eventually from a percentage of them, it begins to create an unstable, let's just say, social life. The amount of time and money you have starts to get stretched thinner and thinner and thinner. And so check out the little video here that he's focusing on Thailand, but I've seen this play out so many times here in the Philippines. Now, on a side note, every time I've seen plenty of videos like this one here, somebody's just walking down one of the main areas there, and they show all the different girls there. Well, I don't know, some of them I'm sure are women and some are not. But, it doesn't matter if it's, how do they say to pronounce it? Not Pattaya, but Pattaya, okay? Somebody in the comments last time said they pronounce it Pattaya. So anytime I see these videos with the working girls in Pattaya or Bangkok or Angeles City, at first glance, it's like, ooh, lots of pretty girls, a whole bunch of short shorts and mini skirts. Your brain immediately thinks, oh, there's something attractive here. But what always gets me, and it has for years, is anytime I see these kind of videos, yeah, initially you think, oh, pretty girls. But really, when you start looking at them one by one, like in this video here, there's maybe 2 that I would be attracted to. The rest of them, really, it's all about context and the way that they're dressed or the way that they're standing. But really, I don't know about you. Maybe some other guys have just lower standards. I don't know. But I'm sorry. This is just not what I'm looking for in life, Even when I was single, it's like if they weren't a 7, an 8, or 9, or a 10, I just didn't waste my time. That's just something that sticks out to me. Maybe I'm shallow. If I am, I admit it. But I don't know. Most of these women, I don't care if they were giving it away for free. I just wouldn't want anything to do with them. Still, over here in Pattaya, we've got, again, just more cracking down. Philippines and Thailand when it comes to the whole drug thing. It says here a Swiss national, well, there goes his vacation. Swiss national nabbed as 30 are busted in Pattaya drug den raid. A Swiss national was among 30 people arrested when Thai authorities stormed 2 suspected drug dens in Pattaya during a major crackdown on Monday. Then it goes into the details here. After days of surveillance, so they scoped these guys out. After days of surveillance, officers moved in with a sting operation posing as drug users to place an order with a suspected dealer inside the building. The plan was blown when the suspect realized he was dealing with undercover officials, triggering an immediate raid. So, again, this has never appealed to me. I've just never been into illegal drugs, But a guy, an expat, could go to a place like this and his buddies might tell him, oh yeah, this is a safe place. Oh, they've been doing this for years. It's okay, and then the guy goes and yeah, maybe 2-3 visits, everything's copacetic. But then it's this one day, by his luck, this Swiss guy shows up at this place and that's when they do the raid. So wrong place, wrong time, wrong people, wrong action. Should have known this wasn't going to end well. So just a caution to any of you who may even think of messing around with this stuff in a foreign land, don't do it. We'll wrap up with this one, which I thought it was kind of funny. I'll go ahead and read it to you here. It's not too long. Now, this was over in Thailand, a guy who had booked an Airbnb. So let's take a look at this guy, his experience. That's, of course, an AI representation here. This comes from Thai Vibe, so you can check them out. To the Chinese Airbnb host who made me retrieve my key from a bush. I booked a holiday, not a covert spy mission. Your listing said luxury VIP experience. It did not mention that the check-in process would feel like a drug deal in a Guy Ritchie movie. I landed in Bangkok at midnight. You sent me a PDF with 40 pages of instructions. Go to the mailbox room. Do not let the security guard see you. If he asks, say you are my cousin Wang from Shanghai. Open mailbox 888. Take the key card. Run. Sir, I clearly do not look like your cousin Wang. The guard knows I am not Wang from Shanghai. I had to sneak past a banner in the lobby the size of a billboard that screamed, no Airbnb trespassers will be arrested. I spent my entire holiday terrified that the juristic person, the building manager, was going to deport me. And the room? Why is everything gold? Gold curtains, gold pillows, gold plastic chandelier. It looks like Trump Tower had a baby with a discount karaoke bar. And let's talk about the bed. I have slept on pavement that was softer than this mattress. Is it orthopedic or is it just a slab of granite wrapped in a sheet? Then, when the air conditioner broke, you stopped replying to messages. Summer, the bot suddenly went offline. Next time, I'm booking a hotel. At least they give me a key at the front desk instead of making me dig through a potted plant in the parking garage. Now, another kind of closing note on Airbnbs. I don't know how often it happens. Maybe you guys can share if it's ever happened to you. But doesn't matter which country. United States, could be Philippines, could be Thailand, could be anywhere. You rent an Airbnb, and then people have found that there was hidden cameras in the Airbnb, which is illegal. Now, they can have CCTV in public areas, but not anywhere that you have an expectation of privacy, such as the bedroom, a studio apartment, the restroom, the CR. Now, I don't know, again, maybe one of you has tried this. I don't know how effective they are, but on Lazada, on Amazon, they have these products that they say are able to pick up broadcast frequencies. And you get this little device, you go around the room, and then it'll beep if it comes across a hidden camera. They can be in a clock, it could be in what looks like a screw, it could be in a mirror, it could be in just about anywhere. I mean, nowadays, cameras are pretty darn tiny, when they really want to be. So that kind of makes me a little paranoid, even if you don't buy one of these little scanning devices, just kind of look around, some of them are near impossible to see. They're built into the smoke detector. You'd never think about it. Or they're built into the clock on the wall. You name it. So again, I hate to make people paranoid, but this is the world that we live in. So if it does really bother you, again, I don't have any affiliate links, but you can just look on Amazon, you can look on Lazada, read the reviews, whether these things even work. I've even seen downloadable apps which claim they can find these hidden cameras, but most of the reviews, when you look at it, it's just a piece of junk. So anyways, so that's kind of what's been up here the last few days, and I'll keep you posted on what other craziness comes up. Catch you guys later. See you in the comments.